Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name, for those of you that don't know, is Lucy Davis, and apparently I look like I've been on holiday. And ladies and gents, I have not. I have just been sat in my back garden, enjoying myself in the way that we really should have been able to do for the last however many years. So it's really, really beautiful weather here in the UK. And I just want to celebrate that for a little bit because it's very rare, isn't it? It's very rare to have beautiful weather. So already I have been chatting to some of you in the chat box this evening, and I would just like to say thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for your investment in this topic. And thank you so much, Linda. I feel glowing, babe. To be honest with you, something has shifted in me in the last 24 hours. And I just feel more alive than I've ever felt in my life. So thank you so much, Linda. Thank you, Lisa. I like the fact that you've said I'm glowing as well. Hayley Wells is sat in her garden. You need to change your name on Facebook, mate. Just throwing it out there. Thank you. Oh, being told you look stunning is just wonderful, isn't it? So thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm feeling pretty stunning all in all, ladies and gents, to be honest with you. I am extremely buzzing. And what is so fascinating is this morning I decided to do this topic before something happened that's completely blown the doors off of my day. So before I go into that, I would just love for all of you people that are out there watching this right now, for you to just go and hit the thumbs up button or hit the heart or the thumb up on Facebook if you're watching there. And please let me know in the chat if you are somebody who's been following me for a while or if you are somebody brand new to the channel. If you are brand new here, thank you for finding me and welcome. And all I would like to say is if you guys love the content today, please do me a massive favor and hit the thumbs up to say that you like it. Comment so that more people can get to see it, and please do share with anybody that you think that this content may resonate. Now, on top of that, what you can do is if you're watching on YouTube, you can go to the bell somewhere either here or here and click that, and you will be notified every time I'm either live or I post a new video. Now, what's the point in doing all of that? Basically, you are helping me get further reach. And when I've told you what has gone on with me today, you guys are going to want to help me get more reach because it is so exciting. The world is changing in such a huge way. So for those of you that are new to my channel, I focus very much on energy. I am an energy worker. I've been traveling the world for the last 10, 11, 12 years doing energy work. I'll explain more about that another time. But I am also a holistic transformation coach. And topics like today about self-sacrifice being out of date and the fact that it's time for change, this is the kind of stuff that I do through my transformation business. So there are two facets to me. You might hear me talking about the new moon energy or the full moon energy or the April energy, and you might think like, who is this woman? And then you might hear me having badass conversations either on my own or with other people on topics that tend to come up through my coaching business and on my programs. So please just be aware that that is who I am. Yes, I do the coaching. Yes, I do the energy work. And then I just mix it all together and I help people absolutely transform their lives. So basically, how do I do that? I do one-to-ones, I do courses, I do programs, I do in-person seminars, online seminars, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. So if you want to check me out, go to www.lucydavis.com. And I think in the description below, there is a clickable link so you can head over there. Now, just before I go on to the topic for this evening, I am actually running a very powerful spiritual event on the 27th of April called Soul School. Now, what Soul School is, it is basically my passion project whereby all of the stuff that I do through my transformation coaching business, I pull in and I help people evolve their lives. Now, the mission and the vision for Soul School going forward is to have places where people can go for free if they can't afford it, to basically get the healing and to learn how to emotionally regulate. This is my humanitarian mission. This is my mission to change the world. And trust me, ladies and gents, like, I do not stop until the world gets changed. I'm one of those people. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about that shortly. Also, I have a really incredible 9-month program, which, drum roll, I I have literally just today found out that on Friday, the 4th of April, this program was announced as the Health Service of the Year for the Titan Awards in America. Like literally, this program that I run won it. Oh my God, it is absolutely amazing. Now, we only open the doors once a year. And if you would like to join us in September, which is when the next intake is, go across to the description field and click on the link to join the waiting list. It is no obligation whatsoever to join the launch call, which will take place in September. And we will go on the journey of explaining what this program is about. But I'm going to give you a little insight here. Self-Love Club is very much about my own healing journey. So for those of you that have been following me a little while, you know that I was burnt out. I had every single itis bug known to man every single month. On top of that, I had hormone issues and thyroid and I was riddled from head to toe. I was in a career that didn't serve me, in relationships that weren't serving me. I was caught up in a world that just wasn't for me. And I burnt out. Long story short, I burnt out. Self-Love Club is how I intuitively put myself back together. Now, I lived it for 4 years before I even started doing anything about it. Then I did it as in-person seminars. Some people on here I know Morwenna will remember that, and a few other people will remember that. They were in-person seminars. Then in 2020, I launched what is now known as Self-Love Club membership. And that program and the seminars have changed thousands of people's lives around the world. So ladies and gents, if you like what you hear this evening, you will absolutely love that program. Like if you're tired of your own bullshit, if you're really ready to transform your life, please don't come along. If you're like, no, I'm not really, I'm not serious about change, because there's no way out. Once you go on that program, there is no way out. You are going to absolutely change your life. And as people are saying in the comments, do it, you won't regret it. It's absolutely going to change your life. It is a game-changing program. And I lived it myself. I've healed myself with it. And like I say, thousands of other people around the world. So, can we give it up for the Self-Love Club team? You guys are amazing. I'm so proud. I battled turning this into a program for a couple of years, because in my head, I was like, this is nonsense. Who the heck is going to turn up to do a program with me? Why on earth am I going to invest in the technology and everything else? And here I am 5 years down the line, the Health Service of the Year for the Titans, which isn't even in the United Kingdom. It's in America. This is amazing. And also, just whilst I'm on this, I got silver for being mentor of the year, which basically is coach of the year. Thank you very much for that. I'll take that. And also for entrepreneur of the year, because of what I'm basically doing is I've got multiple businesses going on, and then the output is Soul School. And they took a look at it and they were like, do you know what? This chick is an entrepreneur. So I feel very, very privileged that on my granddad's birthday on 4/4, I was actually awarded all of this gold. And I only found out about Health Service of the Year today, because I was like, oh my gosh, I've got 2 silver awards. And then when I spoke to them on the phone earlier today, they're like, you do realise you won Health Service of the Year? And I was like, no. So I'm celebrating my silvers, whoop, whoop, whoop. And then actually, boom, I've got a platinum going on. So I want to thank each and every one of you who have been commenting on our posts and just really loving on this information that has come out. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I feel so privileged, so grateful that they gave this mission to me, and so grateful that all of you guys that come along and you believe in what I'm doing. So Nicola on Facebook has just put, this is a not to miss program for anyone serious about their life, let alone their health. Thank you very much for that feedback. Yes, I do things very differently, but chances are when you come on this program with me, you're not going to have any health issues the other side. Fact. So let's get started with why I have chosen to talk about this today. Now, remember, I did not decide this topic. I found out about this like late morning, early afternoon. No, probably early afternoon actually. And I put this out this morning, and I was like, yep, I'm just going to talk about self-sacrifice, like this victimhood, this martyrdom, that kind of stuff that's going on. And then obviously I got this information, and I was like, how interesting, because how many of you out there have had to sacrifice something because you've started a business? How many of you have felt like you've sacrificed because you had kids or you've got a husband? Like, how many of you have felt at some point in your life that you have had to sacrifice? And maybe the rewards were great, maybe the rewards weren't great. But I think all of us can resonate with the fact that at some point in our lives, we felt as if we sacrificed. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, you know, I have sacrificed living in one place whilst I was setting up my business. I kept being called all around the world to learn healing modalities and all of these things. And, you know, I had to put my friendships on ice. I had to put relationships on ice. I had to put all these things. But do you know what? It wasn't about sacrifice, actually, when I look back at it, but I thought at the time it was, and that's what's important. You know, children, things like that. My business, my career has always been number one. And it is so important that we, as I'm talking today, just maybe have a little think and a little feel into, what do you perceive that you have had to sacrifice? Is it your identity, ladies? Have you sacrificed your identity because all you're known as is mum now or wife now? You know, have you had to sacrifice your freedom? Have you had to sacrifice your health? How many men out there have sacrificed their health to provide for their families? You know, a lot of men hit retirement age and boom, they get prostate cancer because literally their whole reason for survival is stripped from them. And so, boom, they get quite sick. It is absolutely fascinating what unfolds in our health as a direct reflection of the way that we perceive things to be in our life. So, like I say, let's start with, you know, why I've chosen to do this. And like I say, it's not because I've won 3 awards for this. It's so out of date. Self-sacrifice is so out of date. It's not noble, like we were led to believe. How many of you have heard, oh, self-sacrifice is noble? It's not noble. And the amount of clients and people who consume my content that have reached out and they are totally bored of themselves for doing exactly this, constantly sacrificing their wishes, their wants, their desires, their standards, their values, their beliefs, their systems. So, my friends, if this is you, you're in the right place. And I'm warning you now, it's going to be explosive. So, buckle up and buckle in as always. Just before I go any further, Mercury retrograde is over today. Thank the Lord, I hear some of you say. And it is really time to look at us right now and evaluate who we are at our core. We are being forced to recognize our standards, our boundaries, and really level up our lives from here. We've all spoken about standards and beliefs and values and all of that good stuff, myself included. And I'm going to be really honest with you here when I say to you, my coach just last week said to me, he asked me this question, Lucy, why did you not stick to that standard? I wanted to call him a very naughty word beginning with W at that point. But instead I went, bingo, bingo, bingo. He was absolutely correct. So my friends, why do we not stick to our standards? When there are standards after all, why do we not do it? Why do we surrender everything to keep somebody happy or something happy? Now, what's fascinating is I've actually done a post on LinkedIn about me winning the awards because obviously, like my history is coming from corporate. So I went on there a short time ago and shared a post about, you know, obviously winning the awards, but the fact that I burnt myself out for my salary. I sold my soul for a salary. That was a standard. I promised myself when I was a 12-year-old little girl, and I said to my mum, I just want to help people. That's all I want to do with my life, mum, is help people. And, you know, that was my standard, helping people. Maybe I wasn't specific enough in saying I want to help people feel better. I want to make people feel better about themselves rather than I want to help people be richer, because that's what I was doing on the trading floor. I sacrificed everything that I believed in and I dropped my standards for money. In relationships, I have been known to sacrifice my standards to keep somebody. How many of you have done that? How many of you, if you're really honest, have stayed in a relationship where you damn well knew it was not okay? You damn well knew that that behavior was not something that you were ever going to put up with, but you were fearful that you were going to be on your own, or maybe they would leave you, or maybe they would hurt you, or maybe you would feel lonely, or something along those lines. You would feel insecure, or maybe they would go off and find somebody else. Like, we have so many stories in our minds, don't we? We fear losing breadcrumbs. This is the thing. We fear losing breadcrumbs. Now, as I say that, make it make sense. We know that these standards aren't good enough for us. You know, the way my boss used to treat me was disgusting. Relationships, some of the things I'm like, who the fuck do you think you're speaking to? You know, sorry to drop the F-bomb at this time of day, but, you know, we fear losing breadcrumbs, which is why we sabotage our standards. So, ladies and gents, why do we do it? What is the point in us? Now, I have this book here. This is my relationship book, right? In that book, I have definitions of absolutely everything you could possibly imagine. I have my standards, I have my wish list, I have everything. But why is it when push comes to shove, I don't honour that? I've spent all the time doing it and I don't honour it. Now, I'm talking about me right now, but I want you guys to put yourself in this situation as well, because I'm sure everybody has not honoured themselves in a relationship. I'm sure everyone has not honoured themselves with a work. I'm sure everybody has not honoured themselves with their family at some point and their children at some point, and all the other things that we do. Our health. Our health is a really good one. How many of us have sacrificed our health? Me, massively. So let's look at the different ways we can sacrifice ourselves to start off with. Putting other people first. Now, the irony, when I was writing the notes on this earlier, the irony of this is my program is called Self-Love Club. And I was writing this way before Self-Love Club won that award today. We sacrifice ourselves by putting other people first. We put parents first. We put children first. We put our partners first. We put work first. We put everything first. And the thing is, when we put everything first, actually, how can we show up our best version? How can we bring the best to the party so everybody else can follow and everybody else can mirror if we're not doing it ourselves? People pleasing. That's what we're doing here. We are sacrificing ourselves to please other people at the detriment of ourselves. How many of you have stayed with someone through difficult times? Even if you don't want to be with them anymore, you've stayed with them through difficult times. The amount of clients that come through my door that say, yeah, well, I stayed 10 years more than I should have done. Or, well, I wanted to stay until the children left school. Like, literally, you've put yourself on ice. And I think that is such a noble, beautiful thing to do. However, what you don't realise is that through this process, you are showing your children that it is okay to be spoken to badly. It is okay to have no connection. It is okay to do all this stuff. And it's very important that we recognise this, because children get completely manipulated in their heads by the behaviours of their parents. If you are pretending that things are okay, your children will have a messed up head. Fact. A lot of my clients, a lot of people that come to me about certain things, they say this, oh, well, we try to be friends and we try to do this and we try to do that. And actually, it's just fucked the kids up even more than they were before. Like, this is what we do to people please, to keep the calm and to, you know, keep things peaceful. And like I say, it's very commendable. It's very commendable. You know, some people don't want to be seen. So people pleasing is the best way. Some people don't want to rock the boat. because they want to be a good little girl or a good little boy. Service. This is another way how you can sacrifice yourself. How many people do you know that are nurses or policemen or servicemen and women that would quit their role tomorrow? However, service to humanity has got them so hooked in. This is me to a T. Service to delivering for humanity has literally got me to the point that I've, not had children, I've not got married, these things, because I'm so entrenched and engrossed in getting this work done for humanity. And, you've probably heard me say yourself, I'm here on a project. And this is what I'm talking about. How many people have you heard that? So Lisa's put, my parents stayed together and it caused more issues than if my dad left after an affair. Exactly, Lisa. When you know that you don't want to be with that person anymore and you genuinely know it, it's not just you're having a reaction. It's very important to sit and have that conversation no matter what goes on, and know that the more you mess about with your children's head, that's the bigger issue that you're going to have to face. Because children do not know how to process their emotions. They rely on you to mirror to them. And this is the beauty of Self-Love Club. We help the parents really get on top of their stuff so that they can help the children. And we've seen it without any question. The children that, the parents that have gone through this program and the children that are obviously the parents' children, they shift massively. They change massively. And this is what is interesting about it. All we need to do is make sure that we're not sacrificing ourselves. That's it. That's our mission, is to love ourselves and to just be love, whatever that looks like. And sometimes by staying, like Lisa said, sometimes staying or sometimes pretending that everything's okay can actually create more damage. How about dangerous situations? Now, I've spoken to a number of people recently who have either harmed themselves because they haven't wanted to be in a situation, so they've harmed themselves, or they've starved themselves, or maybe even think about it like this. How about somebody running in a fire to save you? That is dangerous, but it's self-sacrifice. So there's many different facets to this. There are many different ways in which you can sacrifice yourself, and so many people don't talk about this. I remember a guy when I first started doing my business really a number of years ago. He kept banging on about how you've got to sacrifice. You need to make sacrifices, Lucy. It's all about the sacrifice. And, when I actually stop and think about it, religion teaches you to sacrifice, doesn't it? It really teaches you to sacrifice. And if it's not sacrifice a lamb, it's sacrifice yourself. It's almost like it's incorrect to be abundant. You have to be a martyr. You have to sacrifice. And for me personally, when I realized that for me to be able to change the world, and you know what, guys, this is a beautiful little tangent. I called my mum earlier and I went, Mum, you're not going to believe what's happened. And she already knew about the Silver Awards from Friday. I said, you're not going to believe what's happened. I've got this, I've won this one. And she was like, oh my God, Lucy, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that you're getting the recognition. You deserve every bit of it, blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, Mum, do you remember when I came back from traveling in 2015 and I sat there in your kitchen and I said to you, Mum, I promise you I'm going to change the world. I absolutely promise you I'm going to change the world. And she went, I remember it as if it was yesterday, Lucy. I said, well, Mum, Self-Love Club is about to change the world. This was 100% premised from my journey. And you know what? I've changed thousands of lives already because of it. And we're only just getting started. I've just taken on a whole new group of coaches and this was intuitive. Last year I knew that this was going to happen. I didn't know what, but I just knew business was going to go absolutely wild, which is why I needed to base myself either in Sydney or in the UK. I couldn't be in Manana land anymore because it was too slow for me to get back to the UK and speak. It was a 2.5 hour flight. It all had to be planned and things like that. So I had to make a call, and I knew that this is what was coming. And I knew all those years ago that I was going to change the world. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, aren't I great? I'm saying this because you can do this too. When you realize you sacrificing yourself is not doing the world any favors at all. Like, you being a martyr is not doing us any favors whatsoever. What we need to do is recognize how freaking powerful we are and take that power back and go, do you know what, kids? Yes, I love you, but I'm going to focus on me so that it literally pours into you without me having to do anything. You're going to see it. You're going to breathe it. You're going to live it. You're going to watch it. You're going to hear it. You are literally going to get this vibration coming through you because it's going to be my essence. That's all I did. I went from killing myself, drink, drugs, alcohol, all the rest of it, to loving myself. I did it for 4 years. I then created some seminars, which is why Self-Love Club is 7 this year. Oh, my baby, she's turning 7. And then, we're going to have a birthday party for her this year. I mean, there is no way we can't have a birthday party now, right? So important. She's winning awards. So hopefully we'll have 7 awards by that point. We've got 3 already. Yes. So hopefully we'll have 7 by that point, because I've been nominated for other things because of winning these, which is just so cool. So this is because I made a decision that I was going to love myself. So, ladies and gents, if you decided to love yourself today and invest in yourself today and really work on you, what do you reckon you could bring to the world? Yes, this is 12 years of my journey, 11, 12 years of my journey. But just imagine if we all stopped and put ourselves first, the changes that we would experience. Self-development is a higher duty than self-sacrifice. Self-investment, self-development is where my whole journey started. I realized that I had sacrificed my health for money. I realized that I had sacrificed myself for other people. I mean, I'm not religious in the slightest, okay, and I make that very clear. But how many people have been brainwashed into believing and thinking and feeling that self-sacrifice is actually something really like, well done, go you. I was thinking about it earlier today, and self-sacrifice actually earns contempt. How many of you guys have sacrificed something for someone and then felt annoyed with them when they didn't do it back? So I'm going to do this for you because I think when I need it, you're going to do it back. And then they don't do it back. And they have a completely different standard and they have a completely different value. And, something as simple as communication. You communicate in a particular way because you feel that that's the right way to communicate. And then the other person literally doesn't give you breadcrumbs. Yes, Lizzie, you're absolutely right. People become bitter. Self-sacrifice earns contempt. And then we get annoyed, don't we? And then we're like, I knew I shouldn't have trusted them. I should have trusted my intuition and yeah. When all you need to do is go, do you know what? Not my circus, not my monkeys. How many of you have gone, I'm going to give up my life for the children? And then the children become little shits, don't they? And then there is a little bit of, I gave you it all and you did nothing. And, I'm sat here watching you being lazy and all the rest of it. Whereas if you just shine, your children will also shine. Now, obviously, there is always anomalies. But more often than not, if you shine, the people around you will shine. I've noticed it. Like, my friends are radiant. Hayley, who was on here earlier, I don't know if she's still on here, but Hayley's a great example of this. Hayley and I were friends back in the day, really, when we were really young. And, she got married. We went off in our own separate directions for maybe 10, 12, 15 years, something like that. And then out of the blue, Hayley messaged me and she's like, hey, I'd love to catch up. And Hayley has evolved so much. So that was in October 2023 that she reached out to me again. And the only reason I know that is because Soul School was the next month. And she was like, I'm coming. Literally, she was like, I'm on that rocket launcher. And she's completely changed her whole life. Now, a lot of people don't like that about her because she's obviously starting to step into her own. She's speaking her truth a lot more. She's leveling up. She's lost weight. She's doing all of this really cool stuff for herself and for her children, you know. And it's amazing what you can do and the shifts that you can have if you start communicating effectively, if you start being the bright light that your family deserves. So we're all made to feel guilty because we're mums or because we're daughters or sisters or whatever. We're all made to feel guilty that we should be sacrificing and we should really be doing, you know, doing what life kind of says that we have to do. You know, it's because other people have standards on us. But I want you to think about this, my friends. I had such fun doing this, writing some notes for this earlier. If you do not invest in you and your self-development, how is life going to be breathed into you? Serious question. How is life going to go into you if you do not work on yourself? Now, just a little bit on from that. Life is consciousness. Stop and think about it for a moment. What do they say happens if you stop breathing? What do you lose? I want you guys to answer this in the chat if you can. They go, oh my God, this person has lost breath, air. What do they say? If somebody collapses and they physically cannot breathe and they physically cannot get air into them and they people need to start CPR and stuff, what do they say? They've lost consciousness. Boom. They don't say they've lost breath. They've lost life. They've lost air. They've lost consciousness. So my friends, this is the gold. You're not breathing in air, you're breathing in consciousness. So now just look at the people who's around you and what consciousness they're bringing in. This is what I am talking about. If you want to be your best version and stop sacrificing yourself and your standards and your values and your belief systems, it's about breathing life into you, my friends. Lisa, I get it. Wow. What the fuck? Game changer. I was sat there today and I'm like, why on earth do you lose consciousness? Like, what? Wow, this is a game changer. It is vital that we recognize if we do nothing, we will receive nothing. Now, so many people use money as an excuse, right? Oh, yeah, but I can't afford to do that. And I can't afford to do that. And I can't afford to do that. I'm going to call bullshit on it. There's people like myself. I've got a program on my website for £11.11, right? And that is a breakthrough program. And trust me, it will help you shift. Likewise, I have a monthly subscription, which is £11.11 per month, which, trust me, you will change your life if you join that. So please do not give me the money card. If you want to better yourself, you will find things and people to help you do it. Yes, I believe books are amazing. Yes, I believe watching free stuff online is amazing, but there is nothing that you will get better than if you invest in yourself and actually go all in on something. And the reason I believe that I get the results I do with Self-Love Club is because, and obviously been nominated this phenomenal prize. I'm going to have trophies up here soon. I'm going to have little trophies. The gonk's got to go in there and all the crystals and plants have got to go. We've got to put the trophies up now. So, you know, it's the reason that program works, in my opinion, is because it is a period of time. It used to be 12 months. This is the first year we've done 9 months, but blimey, have the shifts been massive this year. It's been wild. But it's an amount of time, and you have somebody there that's holding you accountable, and you have somebody like me who speaks out and speaks the truth and holds you accountable like you've never been held accountable in your life. There is no way that you cannot shift within that. So what do? I hold my standards. I live and breathe my standards. And then, you know what, guys? I hand it to everybody that comes to my programs. I hand it to my coaches. I hand it to everything that I need to hand it to. Love what Lizzie's put in the chat. She's put, I'm a single mum on a low income. I find the money to invest in me, even if I have to sacrifice unnecessary things. Love that. Lizzie is prioritizing herself, her physical health and her mental health over anything else. Because do you know what? If she doesn't have those things, who's going to look after her children? I love that. I love that for Lizzie, that she's gone, hey, hang on a minute. I have to prioritize me. Likewise, I have to prioritize me, because who the heck is going to run my business? Who on earth is going to underpin all these people around the world if I'm not at my best version? You know what? If I am not nourished properly, and you guys know I'm over the toply anal about my supplementation, right? I don't care what clothes I wear. I don't care about any of that stuff. Supplementation has to be top notch for me. And I invest in myself. Like this year, I've got maybe 4 or 5 different things that I'm going to invest in myself to do. Why? Because if I take my foot off the gas and stop investing in myself, how are you guys going to show up? You'll just be like, oh, there she is. She's just doing her thing. No, I want to better myself all the time. And it's not from a competitive level or anything like that. It's from you know what, Lucy, you have to be the best version. You have thousands of people around the world following you. You have to be your best version. You have a commitment. These are your children, essentially. God, I was busy. Some of you are even older than me, so God knows how I managed to do that. But you know what I mean here. I say that tongue in cheek, but it's very important. Like, I have to be the mother. If I am a teacher, if I am a trainer, I have to be the mother. I have to show people what it is like to actually have a beacon of light to listen to and follow. And this is what is vital. We can sacrifice ourselves. We can, and trust me, recently I've done it. I've sacrificed a couple of standards, and in the last 24 hours, I've gone, what the fuck are you doing, Lucy Davis? You're very welcome, Derek. I like being called mum. I don't know how I made that work with you, babe, but I'm everybody's mum. They always call me mum anyway, don't most people, because I've been teaching for such a long time. That's freaking brilliant. What's also really important, do you like my mug? I'm a believer in peace and love, but I say fuck a lot too. Well, such a classy mum. Class, just there. So it's very important. And what I shared about consciousness a short time ago, please do bear that in mind. Like, if you do nothing, you're going to receive nothing. If you do nothing, you're going to get nothing results. Be fair with yourself. Like, be honest with yourself. Like, I go off and do meditation a couple of times a year, normally for about 7 days at a time. And I tend to invest in myself each year. And people will go, oh, that's all right for you, miss. You've got a decent business. You've got this, you've got that. No, I have to be fair to people that are coming along and working with me. Like, why am I not working on myself? I think it is very ignorant of people that do not go and invest and work on themselves. And I encourage all of my coaches to do it. I mean, my coaches obviously get to go through the program every single year with me, which is a bit life-changing on it by itself. But, obviously there is that. But it's very important that you ask yourself this question. I've got a question for you all. So this here, I've had a little bit of a sore throat today, which I know exactly what it is. It's emotional trauma because I haven't been speaking my truth. But anyway, that's by the by. I've got lemon, ginger, zingy lemon and ginger, by the way, and honey, right? When I drink this, is this something that's going to give me and my body love? Like, am I being kind to myself by drinking this? The answer is absolutely yes. If this was full of vodka, would it be full of love? And would I be being kind to myself? That's the question. When you eat something, Are you loving yourself by putting that in your mouth? Don't be dirty, Lizzie, before you start. Are you being kind to yourself with what you're eating? So let's say you're tired, it's been a really long day, and you run to the chippy and you get all this fatty food, and you're like, oh, tucking into it. And then you're like, oh, I feel really rubbish. Was that being kind to you? I'm just being honest. Lizzie's head goes to the gutter. I love that. So, ask yourself this question. Who are you putting first? I love that Charlotte's just put, I've always put myself last, not anymore. Go you, Charlotte. Really proud of you for that. Definitely do that. Amazing. So ask yourself that question with anything you're about to do. I'm just about to answer a phone call to this person. Is this going to be kind to me? Or is this, am I doing this from love? Or is this just going to be annoying? Is this going to be argumentative? Is this going to be hard work? That is the decisions that you guys need to make. Now recognize when you let something go or you shut your voice down, are you doing this for you or are you doing it for someone else? So I just said I've got a bit of a sore throat because I haven't been speaking my truth. Now, there is a reason I haven't been able to speak my truth. I have an absolute explainable reason, which is very reasonable. And right now is just not the right time for me to speak my voice, speak my truth. Not very often that I stop myself. I'm going to be really honest with you, ladies and gents, but there is an absolute reason why I haven't been able to do it. So my throat has gone, and I'm like, okay, right, I'll give you all the nourishment that you need. And I'm going to talk to you and tell you that as soon as I possibly can, I'm going to have that conversation, but it just can't be right now. So please just be gentle with me. I get that you still have the trauma. I get that all of this happens sometimes, but because I've done so much digging on the old deep trauma, it happens instantly with me. Like before it would have taken a week or 2 weeks or something. I would have been like, what? But now it's like instant. I'm like, okay, I get it. I know I need to speak my truth, but I just can't do that right now. So, it's one of those things. So ask yourself the question, when you are behaving in a particular way, are you doing it for you or are you doing it for the benefit of somebody else? I love the fact that Elizabeth has put guilty of this, absolute guilty of this. We must ask ourselves questions before we do everything. My latest tactic in the last few days has been breathe and ask the question, why are you doing this? What do you actually want from this? And when you can do that, you slow things down. And that's when you start to make better decisions for yourself. And do you know what that means, ladies and gents? You love yourself a little bit more. Now, remember, self-sacrifice is not noble. Self-investment, self-development is noble. And self-development is the absolute key to freedom. When you work on yourself, you bring that to the relationship, the partnership, the friendship, your job. It's amazing what can be achieved if you honor yourself, when you know who you are. I think I saw earlier, where's the best place to start? For anybody that follows me and you like the way that I am, I'm pretty direct and things like that, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I would sign up for the 5-day breakthrough program. It's £11.11. If you haven't ever done it, that is going to change your life. It's going to trigger the heck out of you. It's going to ask you questions. You're going to be like, oh my God, I had no idea that I knew nothing about myself. That's a game changer. And it is so cheap. Off the back of that, if you find that works, we have a whole heap of programs from 30-day programs all the way through to 9-month programs. So you can reach out to support@lucydavis.com or book a breakthrough call with my head coach, Morwenna, and she can guide you and help you with any of that good stuff. So if any of you guys are like, right, I need to just get started, please go and do that. Like I say, the breakthrough call is free for 15 minutes. So Morwenna can do those with you. A lot of us have zero boundaries. And when somebody has boundaries with us, we are pissed. we get annoyed. Literally, we get annoyed. Because how dare they say no to me when actually no is a full sentence. So please recognize when you do the work and you figure out who you are, and the breakthrough program will absolutely help you guys. Like, it will absolutely help you. When you start to realize what it is that you would like, what it is that you choose, how you want to behave, all of a sudden you'll have a list of standards, a list of values, and a list of traits and things like that. And you'll be like, wow, okay, this is cool. Then it's about implementing boundaries which support that. and being brave enough to say, this is no longer for me, or this is not for me. And that takes bravery. Self-love, self-development, self-worth comes from looking at self and then figuring out what boundaries and what protection we need around us so that we can be our best version. Self-sacrifice is out of date, guys, and it is time for change. Change doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, it can be very expensive, but change doesn't have to be expensive. Change can be in a community. Change can be in a Facebook group. Change can be in any one of those things. You just need to recognize that you are tired of the version of you that keeps accepting those behaviors or the put downs or whatever it is. I had one of my friends talk to me today about her situation. And she said, oh, you know, I keep finding all of these reels and I keep this and I keep that. And I just said to her, babe, reels, you know, I create reels. I do reels for a living, right? I capture moments, and more often than not, it's premised off of how the person is feeling in that moment. Or maybe for me, like I have clients talk to me about things, and then I'll just be like, right, I need to do a quick reel on that. So don't live your life by reels. I guess that's what I'm going to say, or shorts on YouTube or things like that. Make sure that you get to know you. Like the energies are really supporting us getting to know ourselves right now. And that would be my recommendation to each and every one of you. Stop distracting yourself. Stop like being in too many places at one time, and just sit with yourself and ask you, what do you need? Who do you want to be? And what do you need to get there? Ladies and gents, it is so important to put you first. I know it sounds very selfish. Again, I remember my mum back in 2015, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to create this thing called, actually, no, it was 2018. I think, oh my God, I've created this thing called Self-Love Club. And she went, Self-Love Club? That sounds very selfish. And I never forget it. I'm like, Jesus, my mum is my biggest cheerleader. Not. Not until the success comes in, then she's my biggest cheerleader. But she literally was poo-pooing my idea from the get-go. But you know what? Even though I love my mum, and I love the fact she was my biggest critic, I love the fact that I can sit there and be like, do you know what? I'm glad I didn't listen to you. I'm glad I trusted my intuition, and I'm glad I did it, because now my mum puts herself first. My sister puts herself first. The little beans put themselves first. You know, everything in my family dynamic has changed because I went, I'm not going to do this anymore. Sometimes in life, in certain areas of our life, we let things slip. I get it. But can I get a big yes in the chat now if you are ready to put you first? Stop sacrificing for being noble, and that you are ready to change. I want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you for following this account. I also would like to take this opportunity to just thank my amazing team. You know, I have won these awards in the last few days because my amazing team, amazing team. So I just want to say thank you to everybody out there, the people that know me, the people that support me, the people that are brand new to my work. Like, thank you so much. This is a game changer. And to all of you saying a big F yes on Facebook and YouTube, well done. Well done. I love what Wendy's just put. Putting me first was the biggest game changer for my whole family. Guys, listen to what people are saying. It is time to knuckle down and get it done. And let's change this world together. I love you guys to the moon and stars. I'll be back with you next week. Lots of love, guys. Ciao, ciao for now. Take care. Bye.